I had a fantastic career. In the old days, the FBI was a great organization. Unfortunately, as I said a few moments ago, it's been infiltrated by the satanic cult, Illuminati movement, as well as other agencies like the NSA and the CIA and so forth. And I'll go more into detail on that.
Welcome back. Back with another banger. It's the React Files, where we react
to the creepiest, craziest, scariest TikToks you shouldn't watch alone.
I hope you're having a good night. And if you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm know what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Let's get straight to it.
The more we dig, the more we find. Here we have an image of a diploma for the American Pacific Exposition and Oriental Fair for Portland, Oregon in 1905. So 1904, they have the St. Louis World's Fair. 1 year after, we get this one in Oregon. This diploma is very interesting. As we go down to the bottom, we have a photo, and we can clearly see in the background two airships, both looking different. They normally don't show this form of transportation in these photos. They normally blank out the sky. But as we look up all of these countries, we see the big ones, and then we see Caucasia. Have any of us heard of a country in the 1900s named Caucasia? I personally have never heard of Caucasia, which is similar to Tartaria. All of these countries that we were never told about. But this one wasn't hundreds of years ago. This was 1905. So they are now, in my opinion, lying and telling us that Caucasia, or Caucasus, is a region that has a bunch of countries in it, including Russia, which we all know have connections to Tartaria. But let's take a look at this list again from 1905. They are already listing Russia on this map with Turkey, France, Holland, Germany, Switzerland, Italy. All of these are countries. They are not regions. I'll say it again. These are countries. Why would they then throw a region in there randomly? That doesn't make any sense. I think we are finding, in my opinion, that there is more land that we aren't being told about that was here in the 1900s. And I think Caucasia is being hidden from us right now. Welcome to episode 48 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. We were talking about Caucasia. Really quick, I want to just throw this in here. That there is another country that is clearly blurred out. I wonder if we weren't supposed to see that one. So we were given a photo with the airships in the background in the sky. So I went digging and found this photo from 1905, World's Fair in Oregon, showing more airships. And since I haven't really covered this topic yet on this channel, in my opinion, and a few others, this form of travel was all over the place. It wasn't just created in the 1800s, and the Hindenburg event was used as a scare tactic to make these airships look faulty, removing this free energy form of transportation technology out of our lives. Do you really think that they put a gas in these airships that would be so incredibly flammable and fly them over massive cities? Or does it make more sense that this Hindenburg event was a planned event to get rid of this free form of travel and wipe it from the history books? Here we have a photo of one of these airships sitting in between the two spires of the Old World building. You can see that they use these spires to electrically charge these airships, and this was common knowledge. And in the very next photo, it's leaving the port. We are not given the truth about our history. This isn't something that we are ever told about in our mainstream schooling system all over the world. Do you find that odd? Let's keep digging. We see that the US Army had this technology in the 1800s, as well as the Navy. Now, this is a photo from July of 1931, and we clearly have an airship charging at the top of this building. So we have a lot going on here, and this was within the last 100 years. An airship charging at the top of this tower. Did you think they only charged at the top of buildings? Of course not. They had charging docks in the middle of the water. Here we have a photo of the US Navy airship in 1924, charging from this boat. Now let's zoom in on this charging station. to get a good look at what's going on here. Now, this is a technology that we were never told about. This is hidden from our timeline, a clear proof that there is much more to the story than what we've been told, especially since this was not thousands of years ago, and shows how easily history can be rewritten. This technology should be common knowledge at this point. Here we have another angle in Rhode Island of the charging taking place. These airships were not powered by gas or simply helium. And if we switch angles here, we can actually see the charging tool that was used right at the top of this tower. They're clearly about to connect to the airship. So this, in my opinion, is clearly explaining what's going on at the top of these old world buildings. They were charging stations for the airships. They have the same features, and I guarantee you that they still turn on, since this was not that long ago. And I'm going to take this time right now to answer a lot of people's question. Will we ever find the truth? As we keep uncovering more and more documented evidence, we're going to find that the previous civilization was not that far in the past, and our current structures hold so much more technology than we ever truly understood. So in my opinion, yes, we are going to find the truth about all of this. We are uncovering the truth faster and faster, and this community gets bigger and bigger, with more and more people sharing their thoughts and knowledge. The mainstream history is becoming comedy hour at this point. So we can clearly see that these buildings all around the world may have had a second purpose, but they were without a doubt here to generate free energy, specifically for airships. And once you realize this, then we can go deeper and ask the question, was the previous civilization capable of using these buildings to power their flight that were so much more powerful, so much faster, and so much more incredible than an airship? I believe that they fully understood this technology. They were the ones that constructed it. They had this technology and were able to travel through the air so much faster than we can today while using the Earth's natural energy. These buildings are technology. They are able to extract the energy and are able to turn it into a fuel. If you're looking for a why, a motive to suppress this technology, well, it would 100% benefit a civilization, us. It's free. There is zero benefit to free transportation, free energy. Do we need to go further for the why? So when you go around your town now and see the top of these buildings, we can all understand how popular this form of transportation really was. It was everywhere. Now, we have talked about Tartaria. We have shown in this episode in the beginning how there are possibly more countries and more land, such as Caucasia. So we have Tartaria, but we also have Barbaria, where you would get the term barbarians. And of course, again, have any of us heard of a place called Barbaria in history class? Maybe you have now, but in mainstream history, this is not something that is taught to us. We're not being told the truth about any of this. And we have many maps of a land called Barbaria. And I believe that these maps are from the previous civilization. They are not presented to us in the mainstream history. So it's our job to go find them in places that are not easily accessible. And in order to find something, you have to know what you're looking for. Thankfully, we do. And then we have this map from the early 1800s showing a land that was to the east of Portugal that was named Barbaria, that is no longer there. It was south of France, west of Italy. So where did this land go? Also, this map shows that Barbaria...
Yeah, I got sucked into that rabbit hole. I'm sure you did too. I've been hearing things about Tartaria, but never have I heard of Caucasia and Barbaria. Heard of barbarians, like Conan and shit. What do you think about this stuff? Do you think it's all cap? I don't know, I gotta do more research. Let me know in the comments down below.
Our ancient past may have come into contact with highly advanced technology and they didn't even try to hide it from us. Starting in Egypt with this hieroglyph uncovered in the Temple of Osiris. Just have a look at these and tell me if you see anything, cause I don't know, maybe I'm the one that's tripping here. But does this not look like a helicopter? Maybe a tank or a boat? An airplane? What looks to be a spaceship? All carved into stone, thousands of years old? Now I already hear the Google debunkers crying this has been proven wrong, that these are just hieroglyphs that were written many times over and these shapes are just a combination of many characters. Damn, didn't know they were there when these were carved, given how 100% certain they are of it. There are so many other questionable hieroglyphs in ancient Egypt, but I'm gonna have to save those for another video. Let's take this all the way back to the caveman days with Paleolithic cave drawings and carvings, also known as petroglyphs. These ancient aboriginal cave paintings in Australia dating back to 15,500 BC, known as the Bradshaw paintings. take a note of the big round heads here. China Lake Naval Air Weapons Center near Death Valley, California has petroglyphs dating 16,000 years. Again, tall beings with bubble-shaped heads and lines coming out. Oh, look at that. We see similar cave drawings in Ginkgo State Park near Vantage, Washington, all in the US of A. Tassili Najar is a plateau in Algeria, Africa, with these rock paintings dating to about 10,000 BC, again with these strange bobblehead creatures, almost like they're wearing helmets. Some of them even appear to be wearing gloves and full-on suits. Now, before you say, oh, that's just how they drew humans back then, well, because right beside them we have these drawings of completely normal-looking beings, so what are these creatures? Other side of the world, in Toro Muerto, Peru, petroglyphs around 12,000 years old of beings with bubbles around their heads and lines coming out. Across the ocean to Asia, cave paintings in Chhattisgarh, India, dating about 8,000 BC, feature bubble heads with lines coming out. Over to Europe, the Val Camonica prehistoric rock art in Italy, over 5,000 years old, and you tell me what you see here. A human-looking creature holding strange tools, wearing a bubble helmet with lines coming out of it. Yeah, because prehistoric humans around the world just all decided to draw the same thing, right? Then we start to come out of the Neolithic era to the oldest known civilization, the Sumerians, whose tablets include this stone carving. We have no clue what this is, but it really do look like some flying object with some force field coming out from underneath. And this other tablet looks pretty innocent until you notice this. Doesn't that kind of look like a sun shape that just so happens to have 9 balls around it? Exactly the amount of planets in our solar system. Guess they counted Pluto, so did they have advanced knowledge of our planets over 4,000 years ago? Back to the Egyptians, we see this dude in some serpent-looking craft. Could be part of their mythology, but then we see the exact same thing in the Maori of New Zealand and the Aztec and Olmecs of Central America. And now the Mayans. Oh man, what on earth is this carving? Some complex-looking contraption complete with hand controls and something up his nose? Not to mention they seem to be wearing helmets again, which sure could be decorative, but what on earth are these contraptions they're in? Is this their way of interpreting spaceships? These Mayan discs, allegedly revealed by the Mexican government, are over 1,000 years old and hidden until 2012, and I mean, just look at what's going on here. Granted, there's a lot of controversy around these, and they do seem a little fishy, but physicist Nassim Haramein gave a full presentation about it, so I don't know, you be the judge. This 3,000-year-old spaceship carving found in modern-day Turkey, but of course debunkers will admit it's anything but that. A silver-suited figurine wearing a helmet and gloves found in a Ukrainian village dating back to 600 BC. Carvings of people wearing helmets and full-on suits and gloves at the Hoysalaswara temple in India, dating back to about 900 years old, if not more. Are those spacesuits? Note that these are different from these spacesuit statues in Spain, which were actually just part of a restoration project in 1992, so don't be fooled. Even as recent as the Renaissance, tell me, what on earth are these little creatures flying in spacecraft doing in a Jesus painting from 1350? Look closely and you'll find similar flying saucers in dozens of these works of art over hundreds of years old. I mean, seriously, this list is endless. The more I looked, the more I found. And the angels you see in religious Renaissance paintings have been around a lot longer than you think. Predating even the Bible, depictions of winged beings were very popular among Egyptian hieroglyphs. And we see the same pattern in the carvings of the Sumerians, which are even older. Some of them even going a step further and showing these beings with the head of a bird. Now, why the obsession with birds? Let me finish you off with this thought. If some primitive civilization were to come into contact with something they can't explain with their current understanding of the world, don't you think they would describe that thing in terms they can understand? So if they were to witness some sort of being coming down from the sky, the only thing they know that are airborne are birds. So naturally they would associate that being with a bird. A far-fetched yet plausible explanation of the popularity behind bird-like gods among these ancient cultures, which leads us to their creation myths. And yo, listen, pretty much every single one of the world's ancient civilizations have the same story of how we came to be. Okay, I know this was a lot, but I just couldn't believe what I found out about these stories, so I have to say this for another video. Hey, I gotta tell you, I might not be around for very long, Jimmy boy.
Peace in, y'all. This is FBI Special Agent Ted Gunderson. He was the head of the FBI for 16 years. You know all the things that we speculated about the FBI, the CIA, and all those three-letter agencies? Well, take a listen for yourself. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only.
I was an FBI agent from December 10, 1951 until I retired March the 30th, 1979. At the time of my retirement, I was in charge of most of Southern California. I had over 700 personnel under my command, budget of $22.5 million. I had 16 offices that I was responsible for. I had a fantastic career. In the old days, the FBI was a great organization. Unfortunately, as I said a few moments ago, it's been infiltrated by the satanic cult, Illuminati movement, as well as other agencies like the NSA and the CIA and so forth. And I'll go more into detail on that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy realist. There is a conspiracy. And I will prove it to you, and I'll document it. Time is very limited. I'll do the best I can in the next hour or so. But go back to Pearl Harbor. Actually, go back further than that. Go back to Pearl Harbor. We knew about Pearl Harbor December the 4th. We were attacked December the 7th. We could have pulled our fleet out of Pearl Harbor. We didn't. I've talked to the naval intelligence officer who intercepted or received that message that the Japanese code had been broken. He passed it up to his superiors. Nothing occurred. After the war, he was subpoenaed by Congress. His superior in the Navy said, don't worry about it. Don't go to the hearing. He didn't. Never heard anything more about it. Jack Kennedy assassination, it's well documented. He was murdered by the mob in Chicago, Sam Giancana's group, and also by the CIA. Jack was going to revamp the CIA. He made his personal goals and aims public to within his circles, of course, and he was going to make some major changes. Also, he had withheld and aborted the invasion of Cuba, which upset some individuals. I recently learned that a fellow named I.B. Hale, who was an All-American football player, Texas Christian, was ordered and was involved, he was an FBI agent at the time, in changing the parade route of the Jack Kennedy group that day. I have information that the night before the Kennedy assassination, there was a secret meeting at the Clint Murchison home, Murchison being an oil man. Those in that meeting included Lyndon Baines Johnson, and I'm sorry to say, and I regret that I know this is true because I've personally documented, I've talked to people who know that this is true. J. Edgar Hoover was there. I was shocked when I learned this, and I only learned this within the last year. And the reason I know is because I talked to the maid that worked in the Murchison home that night. And when Lyndon Johnson came out of that meeting, he said to his girlfriend, Margaret Brown, who wrote a book about this, and I used to have a radio talk show in 97, 98, and I had her on my radio talk show. She said that Johnson told her, after tomorrow, we don't have to worry about that SOB Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy, shot in the kitchen of the Ambassador Hotel, Los Angeles. 5 bullet shots in him. There were 11 shots fired. There were shot supposedly by Saran, and I'm sure he was. Saran was part of it. But Saran's gun would only hold 8 bullets. There were extra bullets in the wall and in the hall and in the door. Covered up. Ruby Ridge, we all know about. We had Waco. It's kind of interesting because we know Posse Comitatus. It's against the law for the federal government to use military against civilian personnel, violation of the law. Yet they brought military personnel in. And it's kind of interesting because I know those of you who have looked at the Waco case, realize that there were 4 BATF agents who were killed in Waco. All 4 of those agents, in my research, took headshots. How many military men do we have out there? Raise your hand. What does that indicate to you? Sniper, right? They were shot by snipers. 4 headshots to 4 BATF agents. One of the headshots went from above down in through his lips and down into his body from above. There was a helicopter there by the government. Further research established that those 4 BATF agents at one time were bodyguards for Bill Clinton. Larry, Oklahoma City again. I'm going to go back to Oklahoma City. Terry Nichols, most recently, again, the co-conspirator in the Oklahoma City case, recently submitted, in fact, January 19th, submitted a document, an affidavit in the courts in Salt Lake City that Larry Watts, number 2 man in the FBI, actually orchestrated Oklahoma City. You don't see this in the mainstream media, do you? The 1993 World Trade Center bombing of the February 26, 1993. There's an article in the New York Times. I have a copy of this article. It's October 23, 1993, New York Times. And it states that the FBI had been formed in among the terrorists, Salam, and he was commissioned by the terrorists to put the bomb together. He went to his FBI handler, supervisor, told him he was the one to put the bomb together. He'd been commissioned by the terrorists. We're going to use a dummy bomb, aren't we? His FBI handler said, no, we're going to use a real bomb. The FBI not only knew in advance that they were going to bomb the World Trade Center, car bomb the World Trade Center, the FBI furnished the ingredients for the bomb. It was in the New York Times, LA Times. Now, what I don't understand is, do not the senators and the congressmen of the United States read those 2 newspapers? Right? Somebody should have looked into that and conducted an honest investigation. But then, after all, we had 911. Do you think there was an honest investigation there? Absolutely not. Based on 28 years' experience and research, I have determined there are thousands of victims who have been targeted by an illegal U.S. government rogue criminal enterprise that is active 24 hours a day throughout the United States. A network of victims who work with me have reached the same conclusion based on, one, their personal experiences as people have come to me, two, the significant number of victims, thousands of them, and three, the extent and intensity of the harassment. I'm talking about micro beams, I'm talking about surveillances, I'm talking about poison gas, everything, the evil that you can think of. It is far too active to be operated and controlled by private enterprise. Private enterprise goals are to achieve financial gain. These operations require extensive financing to operate with no return on the investment. I believe that these programs are financed through illegal black operations, i.e. drugs, prostitution, gambling, kidnapped children, who are auctioned off as sex slaves, used as human sacrifices and body parts. I have documentation of every one of those. Absolute proof in my reports. By the way, this is a report. Speaking of my reports, this is a book that I put together that lists, and it's also on my website, tedgunderson.com, lists my research. What I'm telling you today is written up in reports and documented. I believe this well-organized, sophisticated operation has a central command located somewhere in the United States with multiple satellite offices scattered throughout the country. This criminal enterprise by this rogue element targets an individual. It is necessary in order to target them, they one, identify the individual, two, outline the reason the victim is targeted, and three, document and identify the weapons and tactics being directed against him or her.
Did you catch all that? And to think that a former head of FBI would be lying would be crazy, honestly. See, that's the ultimate form of what you call government, because government means to control your mind control. And literally, they're pointing the finger at you, saying that you're the problem. Meanwhile, they are the ones that are committing all the egregious atrocities. That is the highest level of criminals right there. That is Antichrist. That is Antichrist right there. So yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all think. Like and share this video, please. America must know what the government has been doing. And again, this is for education and entertainment purposes only, please. Follow me on my other platforms where I go deeper on the esoteric level on these topics. Let's get this shit, y'all. Peace in.
That was a lot to take in right there. But some of them names you're very familiar with. But you know what? I'm not surprised. Some of y'all might be. Let me know in the comments down below. How do you feel about this? Coming from who it just came from.
Alright, so this might be the future of e-commerce and architecture. Look at this. This is the portal into the Serendipity Furniture Store, which is a furniture store that uses inspiration from sea creatures and seashells. So you can actually go into this portal and suddenly you're in the space, like full-on immersive. And currently I'm walking on the beach, looking around, and you can see the different furniture pieces and explore all of that, see what's on the menu or catalog, I don't know. But when you look back, you know, that's the portal again for you to come out and walk back to the surface. And when you do so, you know, you can just experience this portable portal into whatever store you're walking into.
That's taking Pokemon Go to the next level. That's taking the metaverse to the next level.
I hear these Nigerian people saying there is electricity in the trees, especially in the aloe tree and the moringa tree. So I want to try this to see if it could work. Here is a globe. I'm going to cut this, my aloe tree, and see if it has electricity, if it could light on its own without any connection to electricity. Let's see here. The globe is off. I want to see if my tree has electricity. Let's see. There is electricity in this Nigerian. We are speaking the truth. Look at it. So my tree. Let me check another tree. Let me see. There is another tree. Let me check it. If I could find electricity. Let's see. If there is electricity. I don't know if the grass would have. Even the grass in my house. So I'm doing everything. You see, I'm not wearing any shoes. They said that there are benefits here. The blood circulation. This is called earthing. Blood is circulating, it's running everywhere, it's healing me of arthritis and high blood pressure and every other things. So I'm getting stronger and stronger. But hey, here is it, amazing. Let's check it out again. It's off now. Let's see. Look at it. It's on. It's on because of the gel. Because of the gel of the aloe gel at the back. You see. Look at my finger. Look. I'm in electricity. I step on the grass, so I am in electricity myself. Look at it. This is amazing.
Never seen anything like that in my life. Like, this is a whole new world. Just like that. Have you seen this before? Let me know in the comments down below.
Pass the observe.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. This is new discovery.
I get to end all the challenge.
This is new discovery.
New discovery.
As you can see,
So I had the idea, I called my electrician and we measured, and in fact we could measure a current in the tree. Here, please, Fundi. You have to go in the flesh of the tree and immediately now that you see I'm not joking, this tree is currently delivering 25 volts DC. So one day, Fundi and me, we took our electrical wire, so just an electrical wire, round our tree, nicely, like that, tight. Yeah, it helps if before you put your wire, you really scratch the skin of the tree, and it helps if you keep a distance between your wires. You see the scar in the tree? Yeah. Where the tree have those scars, that's where they produce the most of power, categorically. Yeah? So that is where you can get up to 280 volt, even AC. But lunchtime, when it requires full sun. Electrical connectors. Now we should be able to measure the current, or we can run a light bulb or a grinder, which we are going to do for you in a second. Okay? So now, of course, I have both wires on. So here, careful. You see that? This is now 220 volt DC. You can check here, there is no wires going to the tree or whatsoever. Even before we figured that in the day we can run a grinder and in the night we can run a light bulb. All our security lights here in our shop, everything here runs off these trees. Now we connect the angle grinder. Here, please connect it for me. So, now you can see it is 2 o'clock lunchtime, bright sunlight. Yeah? So, we will see if we get now an angle grinder to run. Yeah. Now here, oh, this is now serious power, guys. Yeah, this is serious power. Light on. You can charge batteries and you can charge phones. Sign up. Everyone can charge their phones here for free. Yeah, from the power of the tree. That is from mornings 9 o'clock till about 6 in the evening.
You think that cell phone was really charging on that tree? Don't get me wrong. That fucking grinder, that shit sounded strong. During the daytime, he said between 9 and 6. Whoa. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It's gonna take me some time. Let me know in the comments down below. Am I tripping? Crazy.
apa itu di depan meja? Wah, betul apa ini? Pakai apa ini? Pakai apa ini?
Diddy, boys, it's nasty. It's nasty. That's man, you keep that shit right over. You have that shit go right past me. It's nasty. It's nasty. You like boy. He like to play with people's pennies. He like to play with people's pennies. Yeah, he do. He like boy. I love you, Diddy, but I don't love you, Diddy.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash goosmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. I mean, you gave me the ooshkash muash.
Tell me about something that will forever blow your mind.
Dude, giants are freaking real. That thing was open. It opened completely up, and then it closed back up. And there's a little slot in it right up there. You can see that little slot.
Kind of like Andrew Dawson. He posted a video, he thought something weird was going on, and then he stopped posting. People thought he was gone for, and then he finally posted an update.
A lot of drama.
He said that people were approaching him in public about this video that he posted. Him and his wife would be trying to eat, and people would be coming up to him, and it made them really uncomfortable.
Our family's getting blown up too. The reason we went quiet, there was something in our video. A follower pointed it out to us. They sent it off to some people, and they asked us to keep it quiet.
I haven't seen the original video. I don't think it's on his account. I haven't even been able to find screen recordings of it online. But he mentions this.
I'll see if I can't find that video and repost the video of us running down the mountainside.
What makes me wonder what happened in the original video. He keeps going back to the mountain because he really believes that giants are there and he wants to prove it. After several videos, he says they're going to try to get a drone up there, so somebody gets a drone. Keep in mind, he is not the only person on TikTok that says that they believe giants are in this mountain, or that they have seen this door on the side of the mountain open. Some of these videos go as far back as to 2020. A lot of people think this is just a big hoax, and there's a lot of people who believe that giants are real, and that he's playing with fire.
Let's get up there, find that out, and find those caves and see.
And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. And if you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.